these are the first paintings where I would say that there's an element of sound, even though they're silent. It's a visual sound, and that's why I named my paintings for the last several years, you know, jazz series or jazz notes. I love jazz. I love the repetition, you know, of the same beats, the randomness and structure that's in jazz. These paintings have randomness and structure, repetition of the same mark. These all have a center, one way or another, that then emanates out in a almost balance. They look balanced. They're not quite.
I've always liked the simplicity of her approach to painting and the very personal kind of imagery that she's been nursing for years and years. This very personal iconography of little lines that are meaningful.
I mean, one of the reasons that I love jazz so much, it's just so dynamic. Music has a scale, music has a structure. They're working off of that with improvisation. I'm doing the same thing with my painting where it's balanced, but it's not quite. It has this randomness and structure that's happening at the same time.
If you think of Reinhardt's work in the 50s and 60s, Mondrian early on in the 30s, 40s, I think Edith's work fits in that hard edge geometrical category, even though some of her shapes were more amorphic that she dealt with previously. It's always been very minimal.
You know, like a red and black painting isn't a red and black painting. It's, you know, maybe it's an orange red with an ultramarine black. And is that important to know? No. You know, it's just what makes the painting work. You know, you just kind of got a couple elements that you're working with, and they gotta just sing.
It seems to me the vibration of the shapes between the colors and the shapes. I find them very animated because of the after images of one color on another that jumps as your eyes cascade.
To me, the important thing that's happening is the movement that's being created by the little squares or the bands, and how they move back and forth, how you were looking at the dark and the light, or the light and the light. Some of my favorite ones are the ones that it's pink on pink, and they have a really interesting way of having, I guess, movement back and forth.
Yeah, the McLaughlin and Mondrian, their sensibility of paring down to something that's the essence of something, you know, where every brushstroke, every line has a reason for being there. I like that aspect of the dual aspect of trying to balance two things. And all these paintings are kind of, they're all almost balanced. They sort of appear balanced.
I think that's what attracted to me to her work all along, is the fact that it is very personal, and how she's willing to take risks. And I think that's unique to Edith, and it's to her credit, because a lot of artists really kind of fall into the category, or they get trapped in the idea of having to paint the same painting over and over, and they have to conform to very rigid, you know, structures and an abstraction. And I think that it can become dead, and you lose the kind of personal expressiveness that I think Edith's paintings have continued to have.
In a rather strange way, her paintings remind me a little bit of the way Morandi painted bottles. She's been working with, he painted the same bottles all his life, and it seems like Edie's been painting the same kind of lines and the same kind of visual code that she's been refining over the years, plus the mechanics of her painting has gotten so sophisticated. It's been wonderful to watch.